Hi, this is Laura Lee Collet in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to show you a project that I've made. But first of all, I just want to check in with everybody. I hope that you and yours are well and safe, and we're trying to hunker down and stay in as much as we can, although I feel like an old person. We went for a ride today, and it was so exciting to get out of the house. So anyway, let me show you what I'm making. I started off my stamping career with making cards. And then, lo and behold, some of my customers asked me, can we do a scrapbook club? And I went, oh my gosh, I'd never scrapbooked. How on earth do you get started? Well, my upline took me by the hand, and I went to some classes in her home and joined her club. And I got a new mindset. Instead of thinking of it as this huge project, and it doesn't matter if you're doing 12 by 12, 6 by 6, or something in between, I started thinking about it as just a much bigger version of a card. So when you get a card in mind that you want to do, or maybe you've made a cute one, then you can kind of take off from there. Today we're going to be using the honeybee set and the coordinating dies that are called Detailed Bee. These are sold in our Stampin' Up! Catalog, the Occasions 2020, and it is a really cute set to use, and I think you're going to enjoy it when you see. It has a large and small bee, the flowers, and we're going to use the sentiment. Here it is, celebrate every moment. And I think that's very appropriate for today. And the dies that go with it are just darling, and I'm going to show you how we're going to use these. The project we're making today is of my grand puppy. Now, let me see if I can get this so you can see the whole thing. Okay, Ziggy is about 1 year and 4 months old. She is a French bulldog, and this was her 8-week-old picture. This is what she looked like when her mom and dad picked her up. And she has just taken my heart. She grew into those big bat ears, and now, here are the more recent pictures. Let's see if I can get that glare out of the way. Okay, there we go. Ziggy loves to watch TV with me, whether it's on the computer or watching dogs on the big screen. This is when she was watching me catch up on Bold and Beautiful and Young and Restless. She loves doing yoga with me. There she is doing the up dog. She also does down dog. And then she loves to dress up. We went to the Mardi Gras parade, the Spanish town downtown, and she was relaxing and sunbathing there at Starbucks. So this is what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to take it a page at a time. And the first page, we're going to have 3 of the honeycomb shapes that I cut out of the glimmer paper, the gold glimmer paper. And we have the shape that looks like a beehive. And what I did was I took away the inside and I used it to stamp some of my bees. We have flowers, and then I'm going to show you how to put all that together. Okay, let me set little Ziggy Piggy aside. I don't know if you know anything about French bulldogs, but they make sounds like little pigs, so hence the nickname Ziggy Piggy. Okay, I have gone ahead and stamped and pre-cut some of the bees for us. If you're new to stamping, the most important thing is use good quality materials. Stampin' Up! Has their own line of inks. The black Memento is not one of ours, but we do sell it. And I store it upside down so that the ink stays at the top of the pad. Now, you want to ink it up real well. Tap, tap, tap till it's done real well. And then you're going to go down and straight back up. You don't want to get any, if the ink gets around the edge, that's called a halo, and you don't want that to show. So I try to make a habit of inking it up and looking at it before I stamp it. Okay, the little one, again, straight down and straight up. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now, for the beehive, like I said, I cut that out and I saved that little area so that I could use the scraps to stamp on. Don't throw any scraps away that are big enough to stamp on. Okay, we're gonna, first thing I'm gonna do is stamp our sentiment on here. So let me get this down where I can see. Try to have it right side up, that helps. But you can get a pretty good idea of where you want it to go, down and up. Okay. Now, to get this subtle look that I showed you over here, I have the beehive cut out, and I'm going to tack it to the back. And I'm going to move my page out of the way while I do this. Now I'm using snail adhesive here. And I'm just going to tack it a little bit around, just enough to kind of catch a little of that. Then I'm going to put, if I can get it to stay still, I'm going to put a piece of vellum on top. And the reason I'm doing that is because if you just use the straight DSP coming through, it's too bold. I wanted it to have a more subtle look to it. So that's the reason I did it like so. So on the back, add a little more DSP. Okay, let me get this back in place. Put your vellum on next, followed by your designer paper, which needs a little more adhesive on this side. So there you have that. Now, if you want to round the corners, I rounded 2 of them. And we have a punch that's a trio rather, called Detail Trio. And you line your papers up with the little thingamawitchies that stick out. And it makes a perfect rounded corner. So now you have that done. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this because I want it popped up on my paper. And I'm going to use about 4. Everybody does it differently. I want enough to hold it in place but not overkill. All right, before I put that in place, I'm going to take the photo mat, and we're using, besides basic black for our page bases, we are using Daffodil Delight and Granny Apple Green. Now, this is going to go like so. Okay. Then I'm going to take a piece of ribbon that I've cut longer. And the reason I'm going to do that is because, did you notice how I have bumped this up a little bit? It just gives a little extra texture to it. If you want to do it flat, you know, can always do that too. But the way I did this was to take my glue dots and I put one on the end, each end of my ribbon. I tacked it underneath, and then I did it on this end. Now, you can take your glue dots, stick one in the middle. I try most of the time, what I do is put the glue dot to the paper or the paper to the glue dot. It makes it easier to do it that way. But I'm going to do several and show you how I got the ribbon to do that. All right, I'm going to find the middle of my ribbon and press it down to the center glue dot. And then that happens to be Ziggy playing with her toy. If you hear it, sounds like a crying baby. And then find the middle again and go down. You can even add a couple more if you want to, which I think I will. Put one, oops, came off on my thumb. But anyway, you can make your little loops that look like that. And it just adds a little touch to it. And let me get one more. And stick it here. Okay, now we're ready to put that down. And I'm not going to pop this up because some of the other things are going to be popped up. So I'm going to use my snail to adhere it to as close to the center and stand up sometimes. That helps me. Okay, so we got that down. We're ready to put our little beehive down. And it's going to go right around there. You can still tuck your picture up under here. And I always do 3 layouts that are exactly alike because I do 2 for each, one for each of my granddaughters and then one for me. And on one of them I had the picture oriented sideways. So it depends on which way your picture's gonna go. And if you're not sure what you're gonna put, sometimes I'll just tack it in the middle underneath. And that way, if I decide that I want it to go a different direction, I can, you know, firmly put it down after that. Okay, I think we need a bee up here. Now, for just the sake of going a little faster, I put my dimensionals on. I'm gonna put my bee here. I've got a little one that's gonna go down at the bottom, like flying in. I've also got some flowers. That I'm gonna, and I'll show you how I colored these in a minute. But I'm gonna put one about there and the other one on the other side. Now I've got some beehives that I want to, or rather I should call them honeycombs, that I need to put in. And I'm going to show you a special way to adhere these when you've got little pieces. are little edges. Okay, I'm going to put some of my multi-purpose liquid glue down. I'm going to take a stamping sponge. I want that on my project. And this is dedicated to just doing that because it will stay sticky. And once it gets old and abused, I'll toss it. But anyway, I'm just going to take a little of that and I'm just going to dab it so that it will hold. And I'm going to place that right on the edge up under here. Okay, so that looks like it's a continuation. I'm also going to do it up at the top corner, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. This time I cut out 2 of them. I'm going to get my sponge, dab away, put 1 down. This keeps it from when you are, have you ever put just the tiniest bit and the minute you put it down it squashes out? Well, this will kind of keep that from happening. So, I think I'll do it that way. Okay, we need 1 more large bee on this side. And I guess about right there. Now, I saved some of the little shapes that came out of the honeycomb, and I'm going to place these around. And I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue to do this. And I think we need, let's see if I can, sometimes I get a little glue thing there. Come on now. Go put some there, a couple up here, a couple over here. Must be getting low on this. And then some down at the bottom. Now, on the other sheet, the other page 2 of this project, we're also using some of our gold foil paper. So I'm going to put some of those down here too. Oops. I'll put some glimmer ones. And you can just scatter as many around as you want. Oops. And if you get a little bit too much glue, just pick it up with your finger. Okay, now the only thing that's left to do on this piece is to add just some little sprinkles. And I pulled in 1 more set because I wanted a little bit of background. And so I took the, let's see, put this back in here. Oops. Well, there it goes. Okay. I'm taking my gold ink and inking up the spots, and I'm just going to randomly do some around. Just to add a little interest. Not everywhere, but some. Okay, so this page, let's see what you think. I think that we've got a bee at the top and at the bottom, and a little one and some sprinkles around. Okay, so I think we're finished with that page. And I'm going to set that one aside. Now, page 2. We're going to do some of the same techniques. And I do try to carry over, like I use the glitter on as the focal point here, so I wanted to put some glitter on this page, but I didn't want so much. So for the title and for some of the little other ones, I used the gold foil, and so I went back and forth on them. Now, so on this page, you've got 3 photo mats. You've got the gold glimmer with the black ribbon. And let's take a look at all of that. Okay. Now, I'm going to set this aside. We're going to be using that. But the first thing I wanted to show you was about centering your item. If you have something that really needs to be in the center of your page and you don't know how to do it, this is, let's turn it this way so you can see it. This is a 0-line ruler. At least I think that's what it's called. And it is 18 inches. And it counts down from 9 to the center. So what you're going to do is, my paper's 12 inches. And Ziggy's wanting to come in. Okay. So, my paper is 12 inches, so I'm going to line up the 6 and the 6. And I had already marked the center from this way. So I know that this is the center, and I put a piece of Post-it note there. And I've lined up my 6 inches. There's my center. Here's my Post-it note. I'm going to put it at a 1/2 inch on either side. And y'all forgive me for 1 second. Let me get my baby. Okay. Actually, she was wanting to go out. I had closed the doors to the kitchen. Okay. Now, you can, these little things from the dimensionals go everywhere. All right. I'm going to put it on both edges. Line it up. Mash down the center. Pull off my sticky note. And there you have it, right in the center of your page. Now, I did the same thing with the ribbon, only this time I used the mini dimensionals because they stick a little bit better. So I'm starting 1 on each end, 1 in the middle, and this time I'm eyeballing. And then again in the middle, and then 1 in between. And that should be enough to tack it down. Now, like I said, if this doesn't work for you, do it flat or avoid it altogether. So, let's take off my, I've seen people use our little, take your pick tool to get these off. And let's see if that'll work. I think sometimes your fingernails work too. Okay. It didn't come off. Okay. Okay, now, just like when I started on the other one, I'm going to leave enough to tuck behind. Put my first one down. Put my last one down. Find the middle. Let me see if I can scooch this back just a little bit. I can't. Okay, that's about the middle. Then on this side, I'm looking for the middle again. That goes there. Then just make a little loop, press it down, make a loop. Find the middle on this side. I hope my hands are out of the way so that you can see it. There we go. Not too bad. Okay, I'm going to come back and tack these when we get through. Let's move right along. I'm going to set this aside and show you how we did the photo mats on this one. We've got 3 photo mats. We're going to put black on the granny apple green. Then we're going to top it with the DSP. And I usually work assembly line because I'm always, when I make cards, I don't make just one. It's very seldom that I just have one card that I'm doing. So I always have multiples, and I'll do each step I'll do for all the cards or everything I'm doing. And then I come back to the next step and move along that way. That works best for me, so it might work for you too. Okay. I am adding my DSP. Now, I cut the black just so it's like 1/8 of an inch difference in the size so that it sticks out and just frames the DSP. There we go. And the last one. Now, for the sake of time, I had already put my dimensionals on the back. So all we have to do is pop those off. And then decide where you want to put your mats. And again, if you're not real sure, either don't adhere them or just tack them lightly so that they can be moved and you can go back later and put them down permanently. Okay. Now, I had already decided that what I wanted to do was put one horizontal and the other 2 vertically. So, and they're going to overlap slightly. Now, it's looking pretty good. Let's look at our layout again. Okay, we've got our 3 mats. Now we need to add our honeycombs and our bees. And remember I told you a minute ago that I had done some that was not the glimmer gold, but the foil. And that's what I'm going to use on this one. So let me get my silicone mat again. Place this out of the way. Let's get a little more of our multi-purpose glue. You can see that it's sticking to everything, so I always keep it out of the way of anything that I don't want it to touch. And again, glue both of them. Bring the page back over. And I'm going to put it there and there. Again, I'm going to add some bees. A big one there. a big one down at the bottom of my page. Put a couple little ones around. And all we have left to do are I had some little flowers left over, and I do want to show you how I colored these. Let's see, that one can go right there. And again, I'm keeping them so that you can still tuck your little pictures underneath. Okay. Now, I am using our Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm also using our Stampin' Write marker. I couldn't find my Granny Apple Green when I went to do this video, so I am going to just quickly color the flower with the fat end. Add just a little color on the stem. Even though it's black, it shows up just enough to where it gives it a little color. All right, I'm going to put 2 at the bottom there. This little piece came from another project, and I thought that would be cute. And I need 1 more flower over there. So let me do this one. And now these are great because both of them have a fat end, like so, that I'm using. And then they have a narrower end. And obviously the Stampin' Write one you can actually write with. But this is the way the blends look. Okay. I need a couple little dimension. Here they are, the little tiny. These are great for little small projects. Okay. And I'm going to put a flower up here. And let's see. Oh yeah, these 2 down here. Okay, let me put a couple dimensionals on those. And on this one. Now, the flowers, one goes one way and one goes the other. Which is kind of neat the way they did that. And you can cut them out at the same time, which really makes the work that much easier and faster. Oh, come on. Okay, so I'm going to put this kind of down in this corner. 1 flower going one way, 1 going the other. And I'm going to put that little sprig of grass right on top. Well, that one doesn't want to come off. There you go. And we are just about finished, except for putting our little shapes around and our little dots. Okay, all of the products can be found at my website, stampinlaura.stampinup.net. And I'm going to add a couple little, oops, there I go again. And again, I'm going to use both the flat silver, the foil, and pick up some glimmer ones to put around also. Just whatever looks good to you, and as many as you want. Okay. Oops. Okay, 1 more there. And 1 more here. I'm going to go back with my little texture background stamp. I hope that sun's not bothering you. I didn't realize that it would come in right at this particular time. And I think that about does it. So here you go with two beautiful layouts that you can put your favorite pet, your favorite grandchild, or whatever you want. And let's see. Here's our page 1 and page 2. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or have comments, please let me know. And if you'll go to my YouTube channel, I'll put a link at the bottom. You can like my page and subscribe to be a follower if you'd like. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye.